Elidibus stood at Crystal Tower's peak. His sword, forged from crystallized memory, pulsed with fractured echoes. Each hero he wore left a whisper in his chorus of defiance, a dirge of sacrifice. Their memories did not fade. Fades they clung, memories did not. Why fade does every hero Elidibus forged from crystallized memory, sharp as shards, echoes warping his purpose. The tower's fall was not his defeat, it was their reckoning. His fades, impersonated, leave a ghost in his soul. Why does every hero Elidibus impersonated leave a ghost in his soul? He did not merely mimic their deeds, devoured their purpose. Each reflection bound him closer to their legacy, each warrior of light, a thread woven into his fractured core. The Convocation's leader became a tomb for champions, their final acts of defiance etched into his spirit. Not a villain, not yet. A vessel forced to carry what he could never fully erase. The more he borrowed, the less of himself remained. A mosaic of borrowed courage, shattered wills, and silent screams. What price does a soul pay when it wears 1,000 masks? His own identity does not vanish, it dissolves. 1,000 echoes now scream within him. And in their chorus one question lingers, whose voice is his? Amarot's vaulted chambers taught the boy who became Elidibus the weight of governance. The Convocation's 14, each a sovereign in their domain, warred in silence. Elidibus, the seat of the heart, was their tiebreaker. To bind their wills he borrowed the essence of heroes, warriors, sages, kingsuntil. Their virtues became his armor. Each soul he borrowed left a husk. Each husk a whisper, each whisper a fracture. The first mortal chose dominion over doubt, the second chose wisdom over war. Elidibus chose both. His hands shaped the source, his voice echoed the reflections. Yet every hero he became abandoned a shadow. Amarot scholars call it *Catabasi's * the descent into borrowed light. The Convocation called it balance. The world called it legend, but legends bleed. When Elidibus spoke as the warrior's rage remained. When he wept as the sage sorrow festered. His body became a crossroads for colliding destinies. Amarot's halls, once his cradle, now mirrored his hollow core. The 14 never noticed. They needed a heart, not a man. Does a soul shatter when it wears too many masks, or does it merge, becoming something greater? Elidibus knows the answer, he does not speak it. The ghosts in his chest have louder tongues, their chorus swells, Amarot's shadow deepens. And in the dark a question festers, when the last borrowed soul departs, what remains? The answer hums in the void where his ribs should be. To bind Zodiark he offered more than flesh. He offered the intervals between breaths, the silence between heartbeats. The Convocation's echo is not a fracture, it is a theft. Each hero he wore azure dragoon, crystal exarched in his skin. Their final gasps became his chorus. He ascended by unraveling. The sundering tore etheries into reflections, yet Elidibus became something thinner. An echo shade, yes, but also a hollow. Every time he donned a hero's face, their soul bled into him, not as a weapon, as a wound. The warrior of light's role was never his to claim. He was its custodian, its grave. Do you hear them, the dead in his throat? The Archon who screamed as light devoured him. The dawn servant who wept in the source's dark. Their ghosts are not prisoners, they are permissions. Each one a key turning in his ribs, each one a chain he refused to break. Even now, the Convocation seat aches with their borrowed heat. He chose this. To become the heart of a god is to become a cage. Zodiark's power did not corrupt him, it hollowed him. The Hydaelyn that followed was not salvation, it was the final unmaking, yet he endured. Not to rule, to remember. Every title he bore, emperor, servant, was a shroud for the truth. He is the sum of their endings. And when the last borrowed soul departs, the question is not what remains. The question is whether the echo can ever truly be alone. The chamber's air thickens with the stench of ozone and old blood. 14 thrones circle the dais, their obsidian arms carved with the scars of past oaths. Venet's voice cracks first, a jagged refusal that splinters the silence. Across from him, Azim's shadow writhes, a living thing recoiling from the pact. Elidibus stands at the eye of the storm, his hands clenched into mallets. The Convocation's vote is a blade already drawn. Emet-Selch steps forward. His smile is a scalpel. Let me bear the weight, he murmurs, and the words taste of honeyed poison. Harsheffant shifts, a single step sideways that speaks volume as a man. who knows the cost of defiance. Xenos' fingers drum a war drum rhythm on his knee. When he speaks, it is not to vote but to name. Asterisk, the warrior is not born, the warrior is made. Asterisk, Elidibus' breath fogs the air. He sees the future in the cracks of the flora cycle that demands a thief, a liar, a soul who can wear another's face and bleed their hope. Zodiark's voice coils around his ribs, a serpent promising immortality. Asterisk, your name will rot. Your purpose will outlive you. Asterisk, the pact is a noose, but it is also a key. He chooses the noose. The binding sears. Light erupts, blinding, then blackens. When the smoke clears, Elidibus is no longer whole. Stirs in his left lung a warrior who died blinding, screaming. The second haunts his right eye, a scholar who saw the truth too late. Each stolen identity leaves a relic, a shard of defiance. The Ascians watch, their silence a hymn. They engineered this. A reflection forced back into its source, a rejoining that should have been impossible. Zodiark stirs, sated. The cycle is preserved. Years later, the ghosts will whisper in his dreams. They will ask asterisk why. Asterisk, and Elidibus will answer with the taste of iron on his tongue, because the warrior must always rise. Because the echo must never be alone. Because a man who borrows souls becomes a monument to every choice he did not make. The convocation falls silent. The vote is law. The first theft is already happening. Each theft bound their essence to his shadow, not as prisoner but as parasite. The more he wore their light, the darker his own edges grew. 1,000 battles roared in his blood, yet every victory left him hollow. The weight of unclaimed choices cracked his soul like glass. To inherit their legacies, he had to bury the man he once was. But to understand his fall, you must first hear the echoes of the heroes he stole. The crystal tower of the source did not fall to steel. It shattered under the weight of Elidibus' borrowed breath, a sword of frozen memory, piercing the heart of the convocation. Yet victory left no triumph. Each soul he claimed, each hero's final stand, carved a fissure in his mind. 1,000 warlords, poets, and kings now whisper in his bones. The ancients who sealed him there did not die from his blade. They died from the truth that their legacy was not his to wield. Their last gasps became the prison around his core, crystallized in the hilt of that cursed sword. It does not cut, it holds. A sarcophagus of light for the ghosts he could not let go. The Scions who stood with him, those who called him savior, did not see the cracks. They saw a hero unbroken, a champion of countless ages. But their loyalty was a slow erosion. Every prayer they whispered to his name became a shackle, every hymn a fracture. To carry their hope was to drown in their expectations. What does it mean to kill a hero? To wear their face, their fire, until even the lines between thief and martyr blur. Elidibus did not choose to forget. He chose to remember too much. The sword's glow is not power. It is the sum of every heart that beat within him, now frozen mid-beat. The tower's fall left no corpse, only an echo shade, half erased, half legend. His eyes hold the void of 1,000 funerals. The Scions' songs celebrate his name, but never his silence. They do not know the price of a soul built from ash. They do not hear the screams beneath the crystalline sheen. What remains when every part of you is borrowed? A monument, a warning. A hero who is no longer human, but a chorus of the dead. The convocation's echo does not fade. It endures in every shadow that trembles at the sound of his name. The blade fell, the crown cracked. In the silence between heartbeats, Elidibus became a mirror. Not glass, but flesh-high's ribs hollowed, his breath a chorus of the dead. Each hero he donned left not a scar, but a specter. A knight's resolve, a martyr's fire, an exarch's cold calculus. They did not merge, they nested. He walked as a prism, refracting every light he stole. The Ishgardian sun, a borrowed blaze, the Grahatithura stars, a stolen script. His voice, once a man's, became a gallery of echoes, each syllable a tomb for the soul it wore. Did he weep? The tears would have drowned 1,000 lifetimes. Zodiark's heart did not consume him. It absorbed him. A volunteer's sacrifice, a king's final gambit. His body the vessel, his will the ash. What remained? A shade with too many faces, a shadow with a library of names. The convocation's echo is not his voice. It is their chorus, the heroes he haunted, the legends he haunted, singing in unison through his fractured throat. A paradox stands at Amarot's gate. a leader who outlived his people, a hero who became a relic not of victory, but of all victories. Every sword raised in his name fights a war he no longer understands. Every hymn sung to his name praises a stranger. He is the archive, the altar, the absent god. Does he remember the man he was? The statesman who bargained with storms, who bled for a throne. That self is buried deep under layers of stolen valor, under the weight of every for the light he now mouths for others. His existence is a question without an answer, a mirror that reflects but never reveals, and so he endures. Not as a villain, not as a saint, but as the price of legacy. A man who became a bridge for heroes to cross and forgot which way he walked. The Convocation's echo does not fade, it multiplies asterisk. In every shadow that trembles at the sound of his name. In the Convocation's hollow chambers, Elidibus drifts a wraith bound to the very stone. His blade, now a jagged spire of frozen light, hums with the whispers of those he wore. Each hero's final breath lingers, a shadow within his shadow. To become Zodiark's heart, he offered more than flesh. He offered the selves he borrowed, the lives he mirrored. Now their echoes war within him, yet his purpose does not waver. The ether remembers. The shard remains whole, waiting for the tide to turn. A king of borrowed time, he sleeps in the bones of his own making. The Convocation's echo does not fade. It weaves through every soul that dares to rise against the void. In every heartbeat that mirrors his stolen forms, his legacy endures not as a villain, but as the prism through which heroes are forged. The crystalline spire stands, a monument to 1,000 borrowed lives, and beneath its glow Elidibus waits, not defeated, not at rest. A shard unbroken, holding the weight of 1,000 ghosts. A shard unbroken, holding the weight of 1,000 ghosts. Venat's breath stilled the void. Elidibus became its echo. She turned from death. He became its altar. What does a god owe the soul that bore it? Venat's defiance split the heavens. Her refusal to die birthed a god, a world, a war of light. Elidibus' submission carved a labyrinth. Each hero he wore, each borrowed face left a shadow in his chest. A name, a wound, a ghost, no tomb holds him. His body is the tomb. Hydaelyn rose from a mother's love. Elidibus crumbled into 1,000 borrowed lives. One sacrifice fed the cosmos. The other fed the silence. Do the ghosts whisper or scream? They are not fragments, they are choices. Every blade he raised, every crown he donned, every death he staged, each left a mark. A soul's echo in a soul not his own. A hero's legacy, a villain's burden, both untrue. Venat's name is sung. Elidibus is sung in funerals, her god still burns. His echoes haunt the halls of fate. Love is the thread, sacrifice the knot. One unraveled the world, the other unraveled himself. The Convocation stage is empty now, yet every step there once taken still reverberates. 1,000 ghosts, a single question. What remains when a soul is both host and hostage? Elidibus's blade humps a prism of stolen fire, a cage of frozen breath. At the crystal tower's heart, its light dimmed. Memory-hardened edges could not sever what was never whole. Each hero he wore left not a scar, but an echo, a name, a hunger. The sword's glow fades, only shadows remain coiled in steel. A hero is not born, the voice is his, not his. The tower crumbles. The light returns, they are borrowed, a prayer or a curse. The blade rests, the echoes stay. The echoes stay, not whispers, not shadows. Ghosts of every blade he wielded, every name he stole. A tower's ruin hums with their hunger. What does Elidibus become when the borrowed turn restless? Venat's defiance forged a storm, no soul to borrow, no light to fracture. Yet her fire birthed Hydaelyn's dawn, and